Alright, so our last thing we gotta do is make this guy a guy. Okay, so I have this character reference. I'm just going to go ahead and trash that. I don't need that anymore. I have the background reference. I'm going to trash that. I don't need that anymore. And then these are all my background elements. It doesn't make sense for them to just be here. What will happen is, I mentioned I had a bunch of characters and all these things. It would get really congested. So what I'm going to do is make a folder. And I'm just going to rename it background, I guess. Background. And I'm going to hold shift click and drag that into there. I'm going to grab these two and drag that into there, and then I'll just minimize that. Okay, so that way the background elements will be there. There won't be any issue. And I'm just going to lock it so I don't accidentally mess with it, and now I can work on my character. Woohoo! Okay, so what we need to do basically is make a whole hierarchy. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do that too. We're going to make a whole hierarchy of just him, and have all of his pieces together so that way he's a little bit easier to animate. Okay. Now, one of the issues that we might run into is this. You'll notice if I grab these, see how they're like doing this weird thing? And what I need to do eventually is actually take this and pull this off so that that's the top of the leg and this is the next and so on and so forth. But that's obviously, it's going to leave it looking like that. And the reason why it's doing that is because, these are remember I did that, I used the line tool, and then I did the width, what's that called? The width tool. And I adjusted it so it was thicker down here and thinner up there. Well, that's across the entirety of that line. So if I pull it off, it's going to make this thing, that's the entirety of it. So now I could fix that and just go to each one and change the width and stuff like that. Or, just so you know, another little thing that might be helpful, because when you're dealing with the strokes, obviously, like this stroke size can change at any minute, right? I mean, it could get weird. Sometimes things get weird. When you do fills, as much as I'm not a fan of drawing with fills, they are what they are because it's self-contained. Like, it's the outside edge of it, and then it's just filled in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to convert these to fills. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to click and drag across these two. I'm just going to do a couple at a time. So I have them selected, and then you just go to Modify, go to Shape, and then you can see Convert Lines to Fills. Now what you're going to see is, when I get close, that these are in fact actually, it's not a line, it's a fill. So if I click on it, I can go like this and cut a chunk off. So now they're fills, which will just make it a little bit more consistent as far as like when we go to do the other stuff. So I'm just going to do that across a couple of these. So I'm going to double click here, hold shift, double click here, double click, double click. Because you can see how it kind of got a little bit weird. I just don't want that to happen accidentally later on. So we're just going to convert it all to fills. Not a huge fan of doing this, but I'm just going to do it just to make it not have any issues. So shape, convert lines to fills. Good. So now this whole thing is, I'm just going to pull this and push it over. The face, yeah, we'll do it too. So modify, shape, convert lines to fills. I'm just going to put this over here, and then I'm going to grab these and do modify, shape, convert lines to fills. Good. And good. So now they're all just fills, and that should work fine. So next thing we need to do is just basically break this up into the different parts and put them all together so we have a dude and or dudette. My guy is not gender specific. Okay, so first off, this is pretty simple because the cone is the body. There isn't any pieces to this to break up. I mean, I could try to break it up in the middle, but it wouldn't look very good. So we're just going to leave it as one big chunk. So I'm going to select the whole thing, and we're just going to convert it to a symbol. So click on this, and we'll just call this cone underscore, and we'll call it body underscore MC. Okay, cone body. Good. So that guy's over there. And with the face, we'll do the same thing again. And I'm just going to go ahead. Now, I could individually grab each piece and do different things with it. I'm just going to treat it as one chunk. I think it'll just be easier. And then if we need different faces, we'll just draw different faces. So click on that to combine, and we'll call it cone underscore face underscore MC. All right. And then the legs here, I'm going to need to break up because I want to be able to articulate. Okay. I mean, I could just have big legs and you just go like this, but it won't look as good. So we're going to go ahead and break these up into pieces here. So I'm going to click and drag like that. So I'm just going to kind of make sure I get the top half, and we're just going to convert that to a symbol, F8, and we will do cone underscore upper leg. We'll do underscore. So when you do 2D, it's what you see. So even though this is going to be his right leg, we're going to call it his left leg. Underscore, oops, that's not one. Underscore L underscore. So it's left upper leg underscore MC. Great. And then I'm going to grab the foot like that, and I'll hit F8, and we're going to call it cone underscore foot, L underscore foot underscore MC, and then I can just double click the middle part. It was easier than trying to grab that middle part. So double click that, F8, and it's cone underscore lower leg underscore MC. And we're going to do the same thing here. Boop. Okay, F8, and it'll be cone underscore L underscore upper leg underscore MC. And it's not L, sorry, it's R. R. My mistake. Okay, so let's grab the foot. Good. F8. Cone underscore R underscore lower leg underscore MC. And then I'm just going to double click this to grab the whole thing. And F8. Cone underscore lower, oops, R lower leg underscore MC. And apparently I named that other one lower leg, which was, we'll call this one B at the end, because I'm an idiot. And I'm going to select this guy. Actually, I'm going to go to the library and just change it here. So we have, so the one that's supposed to be that, I'm just going to double click on it. And we're just going to make sure this says upper leg. Sorry about that. Upper leg. Okay. How was upper leg already taken? It's this one. Lower leg. Okay. Let's see. Cone lower. Doesn't say L lower leg. L upper leg. Lower leg. Okay. Okay. L. R lower leg. R. What is this one called? This one's just lower leg, so that one's not even named right. Okay. Oh, right here. So this should be L underscore lower leg. Okay. And then that's upper leg. Oh. Why does it say R lower leg? That's foot. I named that one lower leg? That was wrong. So let's, it should be R foot. Sorry about this. Okay, so that's our foot. And then this one is our lower leg, MCB. Okay, and then this one is our upper leg. Okay, that's good. So now on the R lower leg here, I'm just going to take that B out. Okay. So that should be now, let's see. Okay, so now they're named right. Sorry about that. So it should be upper lower foot, upper lower foot. I messed that up, sorry. It's obviously going to be confusing for you. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing here for the hands. So hopefully don't mess it up this time. So I'm going to select this part. I need to go a little bit farther. Right there. F8. And we'll do cone underscore L underscore upper arm underscore MC. Okay, and F8. And then cone underscore L underscore hand underscore MC. And then we'll just grab this part. F8. This will be cone underscore L underscore lower arm underscore MC. Great. Okay, and there's basically the same thing here again with this side. A little bit lower. There we go. Okay, F8. So cone underscore R underscore upper arm underscore MC. And let's grab the hand here, right about there. F8. And cone underscore R underscore hand underscore MC. And then, I know it's a lot, sorry about that. It could be much worse though, trust me. Cone underscore R underscore lower arm underscore MC. Great, okay. Now we've got all of our pieces. So we have all these pieces, but the way that it's going to work is like this. Each piece needs to be on its own layer in order for them to be animated. So there's a timeline here. If I try to make keys, it'll key all of them at the same time. So each one of these has to be on a new layer. So there's a couple ways to go about doing this. I could individually make them all, but actually the easiest way is if you click and drag over all of them, and then right click, and there should be distribute to layers. And it's going to create layers all in the name of what they are. So you can kind of see naming conventions are muy importante, okay? So now we've got them all distributed into layers. I think there's nothing on this one now, so we can trash this guy. Okay, so now they're all in layers. Great. Now let's organize it a little bit. So, yeah. So I got the cone. Let's take the face here. And let's grab the cone first. And I'm going to hit Q for the pivot tool. And I'm just going to put the pivot right where the hips would be. So right here. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the face here. And that's okay. I'll keep it right in the center. I'm going to hit V for the regular move tool. And I'm just going to put it on its face. And I'm just going to use the arrow keys once I get close because it's trying to snap. So that's fine. Let's put this arm where I want it to be. Now before I put those on there, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to parent the different pieces to each other. Because right now, if I go to rotate this thing, right, I'm going to hit Q for the transform tool here. It doesn't affect anything. It just rotates on that pivot. What I want it to do is rotate based off of, I want these parts to rotate from that. So I want to parent one under the other, okay? So what we're going to do is this. So if we go down right here, now mind you, this only works if you're in a action script environment. Later on, we're going to be in the next lab series, we're going to be using the canvas, which is HTML, and parenting doesn't work in there. So when we do animation in that, we're going to have to do it a little bit differently. But for this, because we're kind of doing an animated thing, we're going to go ahead and use it here. So you click on this little guy here, and this shows the parenting hierarchy, which currently everything is just on its own. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the face, you just click and drag it to the body. Okay, so now you can see the red goes to this. Now watch, if I move the body here, the face moves with it. Because now it's parented to it, okay? So that works there. So what I'm going to do now is I want to take the hand and put it to the lower arm and the lower arm to the upper arm. And I'm just going to do that for all the limbs here, okay? So we're going to go to where the, let's see, L hand, I want to the L lower arm, okay? So I'm just going to click, oops, grab it here, sorry. Click and drag to here. And then the lower arm, I want to the L upper arm. So that's going to go to here. And I'm going to organize these layers a little bit too. So I'm going to put this above that, just so it's a little bit cleaner and easier to understand. And we'll do the same thing with the other stuff here. So I'm going to take the upper arm, I'm going to drag that to the top here. Okay. So then it's going to be hand to lower arm and lower arm to upper arm. Okay. And same thing with the feet here. So I'm going to do, let's do our upper leg at the top. And we're going to do L upper leg at the top. So it's going to be foot to lower leg to upper leg, foot to lower leg to upper leg. So you can see all those are working pretty good. And now what we're going to want to do is have the lower leg, upper leg here. Basically the tops of each one of these we want parented to the body. Okay, so the upper arm, let's do this too. Actually, I'm going to undo that just so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this, I'm going to hold shift to this. So this is the right side, so that has to go underneath the body, okay? The reason being, when I go to move this over here, I'm going to use a regular move tool here, it's got to go behind his body. See what I'm saying? Like from a visual standpoint. Okay, so lower arm to the body, so I'm just going to click and drag. Good, now you can kind of see the hierarchy. I'm going to take this upper arm one, I'm going to hold shift, so click on one, hold shift, click here, so now I have the entirety of it. And I'm just going to move it so it's just above the face, we'll say, okay? And I'm going to click, and this should go to the body as well. All right, you can kind of see what we're doing here. All right, now the upper leg to the lower leg, that should be underneath the leg here, right? Because the left leg is going to be in front of the right leg. And then I'm going to take from the left leg, all of the legs, they're going to be behind the body. So I'm going to drag that down here at the very bottom. All right, so it's even underneath the arm. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and drag this to the body, and take this one and drag this one to the body. Okay? So basically, the leg, the top of this leg and the top of this leg are parented to this, top of this arm, and the top of this arm. And all these parts are parented underneath. So now if I go to move this, you will see the rest of them move. Okay? Working pretty good. Okay. So before I move them over, though, I'm going to move the pivots of each of these. So I'm just going to zoom in here. And we're going to use the, it's Q for the free transform tool. Click here. You can see the pivots in the center. So when I go to rotate this, it should be rotating from the shoulder. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this to the top here. I'm going to click on this one now. Move this one to the top. Click on this and move this one to the top. Okay. So what that means is I can click on this and rotate it like so. I can click on this one then, and it's a little bit hard to do. Rotate this like so, and then click on this and rotate this like so. And then we can animate our character. We made kind of a puppety looking thing. Alright, we're going to do the same thing here. So just click, move the pivot. There we go. Click on this, move the pivot. Come on. Close enough. Click on this, move the pivot. There, okay. And we're going to do the same thing with the legs. Click on this, move the pivot. This guy, move the pivot. And then this guy, move the pivot. Same thing here. I'm having a hard time because the snapping is super snappy and not being very helpful. Great. Okay. So all the pivots are in the right places, and we got that all together. So now we're just going to go ahead and move these to the appropriate places. So this is going to go here. This will go on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and hit Q and start rotating it like, like that, we'll say. And I'm going to hit V, and then just kind of put him here. Good. And then this guy will go right here, and this guy will go here. Good. And now we basically have got the character done. So the last thing I'm going to do basically with this is I'm just going to take all of these and just put them in a folder. So we'll just rename this one Cone, and just take here to here, click and drag to Cone. Good. And then I can minimize that. Ah, crap, I missed one. Let me undo. we'll just do that. Just click and drag it. But anyways, so there we go. So now that's in there. And so we have our character and we have the background. And we are ready to animate in the next video. So what you want to do is just make sure you save this. So save it as the Cone Week 02 Lab. So don't do your last name though, not Cone. So whatever your last name is, Smith Smith Week 02 Lab.fla. Save it. I'm just going to save our topic because I already named it. And then I got to move some of these layers around. You see this, whatever got in front. Some of this stuff got misarranged. We'll fix that in the next one. And then just submit that, and then that lab's done. And then next week we'll animate it, which will be a little bit more fun. We make our stuff, and then we get to play with it. All right. So good job.